There it goes. Hello, hello, poetry lovers. Today is November 27th, 2017. It's my day 1.1999 and 199, excuse me. And I had gotten some questions, and I'd like to answer some questions. It's kind of cool when you have a YouTube channel and you get asked some questions. So I thought I'd answer some questions, but specifically, this is going to be about FaceTime. And up front, I will say I am not an expert, nor do I consider myself, I don't know what the word is, beautiful or whatever, feminine. I don't even try. I just did myself, okay? Not trying to hit a target, although I have noticed that I do feel a little better when I have a little bit of makeup on, so that's good. So let me, let's see. My first question here comes from, okay, this comes from Sky and Telescope magazine. And they ask about my, what I have done so far with my electrolysis and laser and all that good stuff. So I'll give you a very brief rundown. I have, so far in my life, 45 years old. When I was in my 20s, I had about 20 hours of electrolysis on my face. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I had my whole face cleared once. And that was the equivalent of that. And then I ran out of money. And so I had to stop electrolysis and hormones and everything else. And I detransitioned. So for the next 20 to 30 years, I could not grow a beard to save my life. I mean, you could see patchiness where something just didn't look right. I didn't feel right inside, but something didn't look right outside, and maybe still doesn't look right. So that's kind of what I did before. And then about 2 years ago, when I was going through my divorce and kind of separating from my wife, I kind of, after we divvied things up and we took care of my daughter and, we took care of what needed to be taken care of, that's when I hooked up with a Loving Laser in Louisville. There are a couple different laser places, and usually they offer some sort of Groupon or special. And I missed the Christmas special, where like if you're married or you have a spouse or whatnot, or your girlfriend, you in theory, traditionally, stereotypically, you give the gift of laser to someone. And so I did that for myself. I had to wait till February, and I got on a program that was like 3 areas at half off, and I did my beard area, under my neck, and a little bit down here. So I've done that for 2 years, and I've had 11 sessions. And I would say for the most part, the black hairs are gone. Okay, I'm of Cuban descent. My grandfather was 100% Cuban, and so beard. I never felt right with a beard. I did try to hide behind a beard when I was younger, which I think a lot of us do. We wear a beard, and we're like, oh, I'll never be a woman, So that's kind of my history with it. And this is 2 days worth of growth, which I don't really see any gray hairs or black hairs. Now, if you listen, you will hear those little hard translucent hairs. And they're just they're the really thick ones, but they don't really have any color to them. They're like, for me, it's white or gray. Those are not going to be affected by the laser. However, so I feel like regardless of what route you take, I guess you could do electrolysis and that would be it. I tend to look at laser as kind of the shotgun approach. You're going to get a lot of area done relatively quickly and not as painful as electrolysis. However, it may not be as permanent session to session to session. With the laser, it's about a 15% chance if the hair is in the right, the hair can be dormant, the hair can be sleeping, that there's 3 phases to a hair. growth, and it just has to be in the right spot, the right time, the right place, etc., and zap, and it's dead. There's only like a 15% chance, So 11 sessions, pretty good with the dark hairs. I still have the light hairs to go. So I'm gonna go shave, and I'm gonna pause the video, and I'm gonna come back, and when I do, we'll talk a little bit about makeup and stuff like that, and hopefully it'll pick me up. I'm kind of in a bummer mood, and usually if you pamper yourself, you might feel better. So I'm gonna pause the video and be right back. And there we go, we're recording again. Hello and welcome back. Okay, next comment. This comes from Weston Smith, courtesy of Soldier of Fortune magazine. Appreciate that, you guys. Weston writes, Dear Robin, your article on how to defend yourself with a Lady Schick razor was groundbreaking. Thank you, Weston. Appreciate that. Could you please talk about how to shave and proper use of a razor? I can do that for you, Weston. I used to use Hart's Groomer's Best as this stuff used to clean my beard really, really well, but I don't use that anymore. Actually, what I've done is I've switched to an actual ladies shave gel with soy in it. I don't know if that means you can eat it, but it definitely smells girly, and it makes me feel a little girly. And Weston, you're damn right. A Lady Schick is a weapon of destruction in the right hands, but it's also great. This is actually a Meyer Lady something or other. I don't know what it is, but for many, many years I had a beard, and periodically it's kind of the anti-purge. When I would shave my face, I knew the inner demon, the inner angel was, the little voice was saying, it's time, I have to come out. And so every day what I do is shave, and then I go up, which probably is not the greatest for your skin in the world, but just to get those hairs, and I just did that. I do like having a shower cap when I take a shower. It's going to sound redundant, but just because the longer my hair gets, the longer it takes to dry, and in the winter, it really, really, you don't want wet hair when you go outside. So shower cap's pretty cool, and I originally kind of hated the way I looked in the shower cap, because I saw a lot of my old self, my male, for lack of a better word, my beta mode version of me, the walking corpse that I was, and now I don't think I see that person. I see enough of a change, and I kind of look kind of cute, if it's like a beret or something like that. But anyway, so that's kind of handy. Hair ties are also golden, these little guys. I used to use the little things you buy, the scrunchy little guys, but I had read online that they actually can tear and pull out your hair, and that's why soft scrunchies are better, but that's probably a matter of personal preference. Okay, so that's where we're at. So I've done my face, and before I move on, I want to share with you my secret weapon. Izzy, shh. Thank you. Izzy was giving me a drum roll. I bought this little, and it's like a Norelco. Well, it is a Norelco, come to think of it. He liked it so much he bought the company. That's Remington. But it's just, of course, it doesn't have batteries in it, but it's a AA powered electric razor, and it's small enough that you can put it in your purse. And again, as I was transitioning at work, I wanted to have that shaved feeling all day, and so at my lunch break, I'd go in the bathroom, in the men's room, and and then as I got closer and closer, and then finally when I went full time, in the afternoon, again, I go into the unisex bathroom. I'm by myself, and I would shave through my makeup and everything just to keep. I think it's more in our heads that we don't have little hairs, and also it helps too. I think once you do this, to maybe go back over with your electrical razor, and that was a really cool friend I met in Atlanta, Lola Cola, who was a cross-dresser, but she looked beautiful. Okay, but like to know her as John, John had a pretty cool beard, and you know the transformation from John to Lola Cola was amazing. And when she did it, she did the razor, and then she followed up with the electric. You know, does it matter? And again, personal choice. I know some people get burnt by these, and so it's kind of up to your skin. The other thing I would say, especially to you, Wes and Smith, is to change your blades frequently. I think I can go about 2 weeks, and as I have hormones have taken over and things have slowed down, and obviously with laser I'm not having as much hair. I would say go at most 2 weeks. A lot of it depends too if you're shaving your legs. A dull blade will hurt you, whereas you know, it's like anything, a knife, you know. So with that said, we're going to pause for a minute so I can get organized, and then I'll be right back to answer another question, and we'll talk about makeup. All right? And be right back. All right, we're back again. Hello. And before we get into the next step, I just want to discuss this contraption over here. I've really been looking for a good makeup kit, box, case, and being the thrifty scout that I am, I had an old tackle box I used for my radio-controlled helicopters when I used to build them. And so all I did was just take the tray, put it on its side, take the top off, and hot glued some toilet paper rolls to the top, and then I cut them so that they'll hold brushes and I can kind of organize. I think it's kind of cool to have everything within reach. And there's probably different approaches to it, but this is kind of my do-it-yourself kit, which is kind of happy with. Kind of happy with. So let me put this back down and make sure that I got the right stuff. Medium, yes. Okay, hang on just a second. Please bear with. Okay, good for now. So let's talk about some tools you might need. I've always loved these mirrors. Usually, I mean, I got mine from Walgreens, and I've seen them everywhere. Walmart's got them, but they're makeup mirrors, and they kind of have a thing where you get, you know, one-sided, and then you turn it in, and it's got the curve, so you get a closer-up view, which is pretty good. Like if you're plucking your eyebrows or those kinds of things. It also has a cool light on it, you know, if you really wanted to see house light, work light, daylight. So it's really kind of cool. I liked it. And back when I did the IGEA, I think it was, that was the home electrolysis tweezers electric thing. I used to sit there in front of my mirror and for hours. I didn't mention that in the first part. It's a waste of time, but makes you feel good. Go for it. So yeah. All right. So next question comes from Modern Architecture magazine, and it says, Robin, please talk about, it says the success to every building is a good foundation. And so yes, we will. It's an excellent observation. We'll talk about foundation. And again, everyone is going to have their own preference as to what they like. And initially I kind of was tempted to go for kind of some high-end stuff, and I'm cheap, and so that didn't really work out very well, not for me. And I talked a lot with my mom, who obviously is a cis girl and has been a girl all her life, believe it or not. And she just said, well, I use CoverGirl. So I was like, you know, if it's good enough for my mom, hey, it's good enough for me. So what I ended up with was the CoverGirl. It's in the red bottle, and it's the 3-in-1 foundation, sunscreen. I guess foundation, sunscreen. I don't know what the third thing is, because it's SPF 20. I don't know what the third thing is. I guess foundation and makes you feel good or something. And that's probably the hardest thing about makeup is finding the right foundation. I've seen videos, you know, they spray a little bit on your wrist and then they hold it up. And then there's a makeup guy who said, no, 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 you should use, you know, under your chin. And I think it's pretty much hit or miss. I do have some tubes, which I'd happily donate to anybody of different CoverGirl makeup that just didn't work out for me. But what I settled upon was the 3-in-1 liquid foundation, and I have once I found my medium tone, which for me is 820. In the summer, I go to the next one up, which is 825. It's a little bit darker. And then in the winter, I go to the next one down, which is 810. And that's just as as you get less radiation and whatnot from the sun, I do change them. And that's kind of the start of it. And then I have the option of going a half step with the loose powder. This is 110 CoverGirl Translucent Light, and then it's going to be the next one up or down, depending on how you look at it, which is the Transparent Medium. Here it is right in front of me. This is 115 Transparent Medium. So again, you can adjust half step, kind of like musical notes. You can go to an A, you can go to A sharp, and so the other thing, to answer your question, is application. And some people like the little nibby sponges. The professional makeup person that I had seen videos of said, no, use your fingers because the warmth of your fingers are going to help get it in your skin. And I just ended up using the triangle wedges. I don't replace them as often as I should. They're Meyer brand professional cosmetic wedges. A couple bucks, you get a bunch. And all I do is just wet it, rinse it out with some hot water, warm water, and that way it's like my fingers are wet. So let's do this. Let's play! Yay! So we'll get out our medium for me. Give it a good shake. I've noticed that 1 or 2 squirts is all it takes. Initially, I would do 3 or 4 squirts, and my face just looked like a Barbie doll, like I dipped it in plastic, and I didn't really like that. So 2 little daubs, and then just kind of do that, and turn this on. If you don't mind, I'll do it while you're here. And basically just start up top, start the first 3, boom, 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 and then it's just a matter of kind of working it in. Going around. Oh, you know what? I didn't talk about concealer, did I? Crap. Well, let's stop for a moment and talk about concealer. While this is doing its thing, again, CoverGirl, you got to find the right one for your skin. I have very thin skin under my eyes, and so it makes it look like I'm a vampire. And again, in the summer, I use 1 shade higher, and in the winter, I use 1 shade lower. So this is light 710 concealer. And when I was a little boy, was I ever? I used to think this was lipstick, and I would try it on. I'd be like, ooh, that's gross. No, it's concealer. And I just put it, under there on my eyes. And it's going to stand out. Okay, it's going to stand out. Can you see? Till we work it in. Just a little bit. And if you really wanted to, you could put some on your mustache or your beard. But this stuff is really, really thick. Okay, so back to our sponge. And we'll dab. Just a second. I've got a kitty cat that wants... You want makeup too? Okay. Yeah, it's a little thick. Ooh, it's a lot thick. Okay. Ooh, okay. Now it's working in. And I don't know why it works the way it does. It fills in the pores. And I guess your body heat warms it up. I don't know. Not perfect. Ooh, I got some shaving cream on there. Not perfect by any means. Okay. There we go. Now we're melting. I'm melting. I'm melting. Another trick I can share with you is, as we're beginners, we're afraid and do it a lot. But I've noticed, let me turn this off, people will do their face and they totally forget this area down here. And then when you see them, it's like they have a halo around their face. And it's, you're like, yeah, you're wearing makeup. So yeah, bring it down, work it in, rub it in, etc., etc., etc. Okay, there we go. Yeah, awesome. So that's that. And next we'll do our powder. Powder brush. I'm not plugging Meyer, it's just that's where I shop. So it's a Meyer powder brush. And depending on how much money you want to spend, you can get really high-tech ones or not. Turn this back on, please bear with. And I just go down my face. I've seen videos where, you know, you're supposed to go and, you know, start in your nose, work out, and do a whole bunch of shit. And I guess I'm not that. I don't care that much. Something about a T-zone. Every time I hear T-zone, I think of T-bag, and I don't want to get into that. So, ooh, I cut myself shaving. Lovely. Messed up my eyes already. Okay, there we go. A little bit. And let me put my glasses on. I hate how I look without glasses. I know some people, they like glasses, or they don't like. I much prefer to be in glasses. And obviously, my hair up is keeping it out of my face, so I'm not getting makeup everywhere. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So a little bit of foundation, a little bit of powder, not too much. Otherwise, you're gonna look funny if you don't already. I do all the time. So that's that. And at this point, it's up to you to what you want to do. I used to pluck my eyebrows, and then the woman that I was doing the electrolysis with said, no, you shouldn't do that, because either they come in thicker or thinner, or they hurt more or whatever. I don't know. I think she was just trying to get me to pay to have them professionally waxed or whatnot. And so what I do instead, because I don't want to jeopardize anything, is I bought another little, it's a battery operated, and of course there's no battery. I don't know what the hell happened to my batteries. But it's a little thing like you use for your nose, and that's what I do with my eyebrows in the mirror. Woo! You know, I kind of go up and work myself, and then there's an attachment you can put on it that'll cut your hairs down without cutting them off. It's kind of a thinner, and I do that too. So with my eyebrows, I just grab my trusty eyebrow pencil, and again, everyone's got their own thing. I used to use, CoverGirl makes a pencil, and this is a eyeliner, but it's the same principle, and it's hard, and I can't, it hurts. I'm like digging into my face with a pencil. So I use a Revlon brown pencil, but it's like crayon in a tube, so it goes on real easy. And that's what I do. Isn't it fun? Now for my daughter, sometimes I put little wavy lines in. Oops. Okay. I put little wavy lines in just to mess with her. And you can do that if you want. Okay. That's good enough for me. Probably not for other people. They do. Ha! It came off. Uh-oh. There we go. They do come with these cool little brushy things, and you can actually go and work it down and rub it out. And by all means, I think as far as makeup goes, who I would tell you to watch is Katie, is Catherine Waddell. She's beautiful. She's beautiful, and her eyes are always amazing. Amazing. All right. So, in a pinch, not too bad. Not too screwed up. And then from there, really it's personal preference. I always match for what I'm wearing. So today would be green. So again, I grab my eyeshadow brush, and this is CoverGirl green. Don't think I just use CoverGirl, but I don't know. Everyone's got their own preference. The CoverGirl powder to me smells like Noxzema. And you may hate Noxzema. See, we got a little bit of green. Not too much. Not too much. And we'll do eyeliner too. Why not? Why not? Couple options there. Let me turn this off again. You can use a pencil, which it depends. For my lower waterline, I prefer a pencil. From my upper, I prefer a liquid. And I don't always do the upper. I don't know why. I guess, again, if you want to, Katie Waddell, look at her eyes, man. She's like, and she got this little cat thing. She's awesome. She's awesome. But I do like the black or a color. Brown, and I have brown, and I also have gray. Now I'm graying, okay? And so a lot of my colors are gray. If you're younger, go with the black or the brown, okay? But again, with the mirror, if you want to turn it around, you got the up close, and you pull it down just a little bit. And I think this is probably the hardest thing to get used to. Your parents say, don't stick sharp things in your eyes. And here you are putting, can you see the lines? You're sticking a pencil in your eye, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? So that's that. Whoops. And then the last thing for me is CoverGirl blush. Boy, if CoverGirl would like me to get some free shit, I would go for that. And again, I'm not really a professional on this, and I realize some of you have apples and dimples and shit, stuff like that, and I really don't care. Okay, but I do like color. Okay, all right. So again, turn that off, and turn this over. And okay, and so again, if I let my hair down, cover up my bald spots, and I do this, then I look more like myself. Oh, you know what we forgot? Lipstick. And you're probably going to say, CoverGirl. And you would be wrong. What? You want lipstick on? Fisher. I didn't know you liked lipstick. Okay. And I use Revlon. To me, CoverGirl lipstick tastes like icky. Okay, so look it in the monitor. I dated a girl who her mom sold Mary Kay, and do that. Her mom sold Mary Kay cosmetics, and she had a routine where, and again, I'm not knocking this. There's so many different ways of doing it. She put on the lipstick, and then she took a paper towel and bit it, or put it in her mouth and opened it, and then she took the powder, the setting powder, and sprinkled it on her mouth, and then she took it off, and then she put the lipstick on again, and that was her routine. And I was like, I don't know, it's like people who wash their dishes before they put them in the dishwasher. I don't get it. But anyway, so that's the finished product, and I've not heard any torches, the village people bringing torches and pitchforks, so I guess I don't look too ghastly. But that's kind of my daily makeup routine. And I've also noticed that um, if I do it at 6 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning, usually by the time work rolls around at 8, my body, my skin oils and whatnot have actually started to break it down. And so like right now, I feel like it's a little thick. Okay, I feel like it's a little too much. But give me an hour or two, and because my skin is so oily, it's going to break it down, and it will not be as pronounced. So usually, like in my other videos, it's usually a couple hours, 3 or 4 hours after I wake up, and so the makeup has had a chance to kind of break down a little bit, and I kind of feel like, maybe it is a little too much. But when I go drop off my daughter at school sometimes, and I go in the office sometimes, the office ladies all have the same, it's a little too much in the morning, and then throughout the day it breaks down somewhat, and so I would do that. So yeah, so props to questions, and good luck. A couple other things to talk about would be how to take makeup off. And I am looking for the little blue container that I do not see. Boy, I am disorganized. But I prefer, for myself, I prefer Neutrogena wipes. They've got the Neutrogena moisturizer in it, and you just put it on your face and like hold it for 3 seconds, and then it pulls everything off. It pulls all the makeup off. Now, I actually don't worry about taking off my makeup, because usually by the end of the day it's broken down, it's gone. But I just don't care if I go to sleep with makeup on, and I know that can be an issue for some folks. I used to use soap and water and a rag, and it really dried out my skin a lot, and that's why I like the Neutrogena wipes, although I can't find them for the life of me. And that is because probably the Neutrogena wipes have ran away with the other thing that I can't find right now, which is moisturizer. And during the winter, I do like to use, at the end of the day, it's like a moisturizer, and again, it's Meyer brand. And it's just something that it's kind of creamy, but it goes on, and you can do that initially at the start of your day. Get a little like one pump of it, and work it in your hands and work it in your face, let it dry, and supposedly it adds another layer of protection to your skin to keep the moisture in, and it may help your makeup. I've also heard some makeups do a pre-foundation, and it's like you put it on and it supposedly makes your face smooth and whatnot. And again, there are many routes. There's no right or wrong way. It's your way. It's how you look and how you want to look. So yeah, so hopefully some cool stuff here, and I definitely appreciate the questions, and yeah, have fun, and that's something that I would say to anybody. For so long we ignored our desires, and it's fun to play and experiment, and some folks do mascara. I do have a tube somewhere. Here it is. Guess what brand? CoverGirl. I think Maybelline is the one that's the bomb. And I really don't use mascara because I have really big eyelashes anyway. And throughout the day, sometimes I'll do like that with my eye, and I would get mascara down. But that is another thing. I did buy the mandatory eyelash curler thing, and it was too much like a Clockwork Orange for me to sit there and open my eye and then crimp and turn and crimp and turn and mascara. And again, perfectly, if that's your thing, knock your socks off. Enjoy. Try it and see. Try and see if that's what you like. Okay. And I think that is it. I don't have any great other things to say. I'm just looking around. And I think that'll do it. So experiment. That's your other thing, experiment. And my daughter sometimes gives me flack a little bit about my lipstick. Um, and something about colors and whatnot. And what I had to explain to her is that every woman has her own sense of style and what she wants, like my nail polish here. And I'm very comfortable with who I am, and I have established my own style. So, yeah, I could, read Cosmopolitan or Vogue or whatever, and I've just developed my own sense of style, and it may change. But I think that's half the fun of going through this process of transitioning and having a second puberty. We're, regardless of what age we are, we are going through a teenage girl phase of makeup and boys and girls or whatever, and that's half the fun of finding out who you are and what you like. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Thank goodness we have the opportunity to do it when we decide to do it. All right, my friends, thank you so much, and I hope everyone is super duper good luck in your transition. I'm doing okay in mine. I have 18 pounds to go, and that's cool. Then I'll be at surgery weight, so thumbs up. And until next time, good luck in your journey. Bye bye.